My son got a $15 gas card. That was his Christmas gift. Meanwhile, his cousin was tearing into a PlayStation 5, a brand new iPad, and a thick envelope of cash right there, on the same carpet, under the same tree. And then my father smiled. You know the smile. The one people use when they think they're being fair. He's worked harder this year, my dad said. That's when something inside me went very, very quiet. No yelling. No arguing. No dramatic walkout. Just clarity. Welcome to the channel Lying Whispers. My friends, grab a coffee or the drink of your choice and stay with me because this story isn't about gifts. It's about favoritism, invisible children, and the moment a mother realizes she's been funding a family that doesn't fully include her kid. Like the video, subscribe, drop a comment early, and stay until the end. Because this story doesn't explode. It freezes. The living room looked exactly like it always did. Cream-colored carpet. The kind you're not allowed to walk on with shoes, yet somehow always ends the night stained with cranberry sauce and resentment. The Christmas tree was aggressively festive. White lights. Fake snow. Too much sparkle trying to convince everyone that love was evenly distributed. We were sitting in a circle. Logan Pierce, my sister's son, was dead center, like gravity had personally chosen him. A brand new iPad rested on his lap, screen still untouched, glowing like it knew it was loved. Under his knee, a thick envelope. Cash. He guarded it carefully, like it might run away. Someone had wrapped the PlayStation 5 with a blue ribbon. Not casually. Ceremonially. Like it was a newborn. My son, Noah, sat next to me. 12 years old. Too polite for his own good. The kind of kid who says thank you even when adults disappoint him. He held a recycled Santa card. Inside, taped slightly crooked, was a logo from a gas station. $15. I knew before he opened it. Mothers always know. He opened the card slowly. Read it. Then smiled. That smile still haunts me. Thank you, Grandpa, he said. His voice was calm. Careful. The voice kids use when they don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. My father cleared his throat. Logan has been trying harder this year, he explained. His grades are improving. Effort should be rewarded. There it was. The explanation. The verdict. The permission slip. No one argued. No one corrected him. My sister nodded slightly, like this made perfect sense. Logan kept ripping plastic off expensive things. The PS5 emerged like a promise fulfilled. I didn't say a word. Because in that moment, I understood something important. This wasn't a mistake. It was a system. Noah leaned into me, shoulder to shoulder, the way he does when he senses I need grounding. His hair smelled like peppermint shampoo, the one he chose, because it tingles. I rested my hand on the back of his head and breathed. My mom was wrestling with a trash bag, talking about how I should write something cheerful about family holidays in my newspaper column. My dad made a joke. No one laughed. The TV played a looping fireplace. Fake fire. Fake warmth. The blue ribbon lay curled on the floor, like a question nobody wanted to answer. Noah slipped the gas card into his pocket. And I knew. That would be the last time my son sat on that carpet waiting to be compared to someone else. My name is Claire Bennett. I'm 38 years old. I live in a small brick apartment in Chicago. I work as a city reporter. Budgets. Hearings. Potholes big enough to eat tires. I like numbers. I like receipts. I like when things add up. I became a single mom when Noah was 3. His dad and I co-parent peacefully, boring, functional, adult. Apparently more than my family can handle. Noah is quiet. In loud rooms, he looks for someone who needs help. He buys me coffee-flavored candy because he thinks it's fancy. In my family, I was always the responsible one. The fixer. The planner. The payer. When I got promoted, I opened a separate bank account. I called it Family Sundays. It was supposed to save my sanity. The account that paid for peace. That Family Sundays account didn't start as a big thing. At first, it was groceries. $200 and something every week delivered to my parents' house. Bread, eggs, coffee. The kind my dad insisted didn't upset his stomach. It did. Then utilities crept in. Electricity because my mom liked the house warmer. Water because somehow no one could figure out how to log into the city portal. Internet because my dad blamed the crossword loading slowly on the system, not the router. I didn't argue. I just added my card. I hosted Sundays. That wasn't even charged to the account. That was me. I bought a bigger table. Extra chairs. Cooked enough food to feed people who always invited more people. Lasagna. Pot roast. Roasted chicken. A drawer full of birthday candles because nobody remembered whose birthday it was. If something broke, I fixed it. If someone was short, I covered it. My brother never maintained his car tires, so I kept a tire pump in my trunk. When my parents' garage roof sagged, I paid for it. $8,000 later, it stopped leaking. My sister fell behind on her car insurance. I paid 3 months. When Logan needed tutoring, I chipped in. And every August, I booked a lake house. 6 bedrooms. Calm water. $3,000 everyone called tradition. I paid in February. Paid again in June. Everyone else brought marshmallows. Money wasn't even the worst part. It was the planning. Can you move dinner for the game? Can you call the rental? Can you pick up extra cupcakes? I had the calendar everyone borrowed. And Noah? He was always there. Present. Unnoticed. One year, for his birthday, my mom gave him a sweater with my brother's name still written on the tag. She laughed and said we didn't know what he liked. Logan opened new headphones and yelled about how amazing Grandma was. I swallowed it. Another time, they all went to a trampoline park for Cousin's Day. My sister posted photos. Noah wasn't in any of them. He was at my kitchen table, drawing superheroes. He colored their capes with candy wrappers. I found the photo of the trampoline park under a chair the next morning. Still, I paid. I told myself I was building a safety net, that this was what family did, that someday it would balance out. It didn't. The tone shifted when I finally said no. My brother asked me to co-sign a loan with his friend to open a bar. Something about concert tickets and big potential. I said no. He started calling me Cheap Claire when he wanted to hurt me, and Successful Claire when he wanted money. I kept paying. I told myself it was temporary, that family mattered more than money. Until Christmas. Until the gas card. The drive home that night was quiet. Noah held the card with both hands, like it might snap at him. I stared at the road because lane lines are easier than thoughts. It's okay. 12 years old, managing my feelings. No, I said. It's not. He tried to make it lighter. I like gas station candy. He laughed. A short, dry sound. We stopped for milk. He used the card. Bought gummy worms and a scratch-off crossword. Celebrated like we'd won something. That's when it hit me. At home, he curled up on the couch with a book his dad's parents gave him. Peppermint shampoo. Knit beanie. I leaned against the fridge and stared at his report card. Straight as. A note about how he helped a new kid learn the lunch line. I opened my laptop. The table wobbled, so I shoved a napkin under one leg. Logged into my bank. That spinning circle that gives you time to reconsider your life choices. There it was. Family Sundays. Balance just over $9,000. Scheduled payments lined up like a to-do list I never agreed to. The next day's group chat would explode. Dinner time. Extra guests. Who was bringing dessert? I didn't wait. I called the bank. I need to close an account, I said. My voice sounded calm. Too calm. Security questions. Confirmation. Yes, there were pending payments. Yes, I still wanted to close it. They offered to freeze payments instead. No, I said. I'm done. Transferred the balance to my personal savings. I wrote down the confirmation number. Cut the debit card in half with kitchen scissors. It felt less like destruction and more like relief. I didn't text anyone. Didn't announce it. Didn't explain. I just sat with my son and watched a cooking show where no one competed. When the payment stopped, the next morning my phone lit up like it always did. What time is dinner? We're bringing Ryan. Logan wants that mac and cheese you make. I typed one sentence. Am not hosting this week. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Are you sick? Is everything okay? This feels dramatic. I put the phone face down. I made pancakes. Chocolate chips. The good kind. Noah cut them into neat little squares and decorated them with gummy worms like he was plating at a restaurant that had lost its mind. We laughed. And for the first time in days, I wasn't angry. At noon, I got the email. Payment failed. 18 minutes later, my mom texted. The groceries didn't go through. Is something wrong with your bank? I muted the conversation. The next week was louder. The electric company called my parents. The water bill bounced. The lake house reminder came through. What did you do? My mother asked when she finally called. I closed the account, I said. There was a pause. Why would you do something like that? Because I'm not your backup bank, I wanted to say. Instead, I said it out loud. I'm not your backup bank. Her breath hitched. The offended kind. That's ridiculous. Noah knows we love him. This again. This isn't about one gift, I said. You know that. She hung up. The group chat went silent for 3 days. Then my sister sent a screenshot from the rental company. Balance due. Did your card change? She asked. I didn't reply. My brother texted me later that night. Called me vindictive. Misspelled it. Said I was tearing the family apart over something small. I laughed out loud. Alone. Folding laundry. Because it was never small. On Thursday, my Aunt Ruth knocked on my door. She'd walked 10 blocks in the cold, carrying a dented tin of cookies that all looked like they'd lost a fight with the oven. They tasted like childhood. I cried quietly. She didn't rush me. I didn't like that gift, she said finally. That was it. That was the whole sentence. She told me how her sisters used to do the same thing. How she paid and paid until she stopped. Let them buy their own pies, she said. They tried to come over that Sunday. My mom showed up with grocery store flowers. The kind that die in 3 days no matter what you do. Let's talk, she said. We can, I replied. Out here. I stepped onto the porch and closed the door behind me so Noah could. I'm not your financial safety net, I said. Take me off your accounts. I'm not hosting. My father tried to minimize it. It's not that deep. They're just gifts. You made it that deep, I said. You're overreacting. I didn't react, I said. I removed my name from a bill. That quieted him. Later that week, my mom texted, family shouldn't keep score. The same day, she sent me a Venmo request for a streaming service she forgot wasn't free. I sent nothing. Just repeated my sentence when needed. I don't financially support a family that doesn't fully include my child. Over and over. Like teaching a new language to people who didn't want to learn it. Not everyone disappeared. My cousin Isabel texted one Friday. Pizza at my place? No gifts. Just my loud dog. We went. Noah laughed so hard watching that dog try to eat a balloon that milk came out of his nose. On the drive home, he said something that stayed with me. I like it when nobody's keeping track. So did I. The weeks after that felt different. Not dramatic. Not tragic. Just quieter. My parents still called, but less often. When they did, they sounded careful, like people testing thin ice with the toe of a boot. My dad started conversations with, "How's my boy?" as if he were learning where to place the weight. We talked about the weather. About socks. About nothing important. That was the point. There were no Sunday dinners. No group texts asking for the address again. No last-minute guest additions. The extra chairs stayed folded against the wall. At first, the silence felt suspicious, like the pause after thunder. Then it felt peaceful. One afternoon, my father stopped by with a bag of oranges he'd found on sale. He stood in my kitchen like a tourist, unsure where to put himself. His eyes landed on Noah's drawing on the fridge, a crooked table, oversized chairs, everyone smiling.
"He's a good kid," he said.
"He is," I replied. That was it. No apology. No explanation. And honestly, I didn't need one. Easter came and went. No group plan. No photo of a ham. No one forgot to tag anyone. On Monday, my mom texted, "We ended up at Chili's." I replied, "Hope the chips were good."
It wasn't sarcasm.
I genuinely hoped they were warm. By summer, the lake house was gone. No reminder. No panic. Instead, my sister sent me a photo of Logan lounging in a plastic kiddie pool in their backyard. Captioned "Our lake house." I double-tapped the photo. Not out of spite. Out of hope. I hoped that kids spent more time outside than in living rooms where adults turn love into a competition. My brother didn't stop trying. In August, he texted, "You broke the family." I replied, "I turned off a faucet you didn't realize was running." He never responded. Our Sundays changed. Sometimes it was tacos. Sometimes just cereal for dinner. Sometimes Aunt Ruth showed up with cookies. Sometimes Isabel and her loud dog came over. Sometimes it was just the two of us. 2 plates. Both used. No silence. No scorekeeping. About a year later, I noticed what I didn't miss. I didn't miss tense group chats. I didn't miss counting heads or receipts. I didn't miss plastic chairs on cream carpet. I redirected the money. The night I closed the account, I moved the balance into savings. The following month, I opened a college fund for Noah. $6,000 to start. $250 every month after. I showed him the statement. He squinted at the numbers like they were a puzzle.
"So this is for college," he said.
"Or whatever I want to learn." Exactly, I told him. We celebrated with gummy worms from a gas station. Yes, that gas station. Full circle. That August, we skipped the big vacation. Instead, we rented a tiny cabin by a river. 1 bedroom. Mosquitoes everywhere. $500 for 4 nights. We caught a fish that wasn't really a fish. Let it go. He fell asleep reading on my chest. At night, we heard trains. My column that week wasn't about family. It was about a woman at a city budget hearing holding up receipts and asking for answers. That felt right. Some people like to believe stories like this end with reconciliation, an apology,
a speech.
Everyone learning a lesson and sitting at the same table again like a commercial. That's not what happened. What happened was smaller. And better. Thanksgiving came around, and I hosted, but not the old way. No performance. No seating chart. Aunt Ruth came. Isabel did too, along with 2 cousins who showed up with pies and paper plates. I roasted a chicken instead of a turkey. Turkeys are theater.
There were 2 empty chairs at.
I noticed them. I didn't fill them.
No.
Noah made place cards. Mine read Mom, E. His had little tacos drawn in the corners. I taped it to the fridge next to his latest report card and a drawing he called our tab.
The chai. That.
My parents still call. Not every week. Not to ask for Ennet. Sometimes my dad says,
Hila.
I don't joy. I don't solve puzzles, any. He goes quiet in a way tea. Once he brought over a bag of oranges because they were on sale. He looked around my kitchen, paused at Noah's drawing again, and nodded like someone visiting a country they don't fully know yet. I sent him. No calendar invites. No expectat. People assume the th. That's not T. The story is
silence. T.
It does. I don't fund love with conditions.
I dawn.
And if we don't show up somewhere?
The C.
If I don't put a napkin under my table, it wobbles. That's fine. It still holds. So tell me, my friends, what would you have done? Closed the account quietly? Or kept paying just to keep the peace? Drop it in the comments. I'm reading everything. Like the video if this hit a nerve. Subscribe if you've ever been the responsible one. Share this with someone who needs permission to stop funding their own invisibility. This was Lying Whispers. And sometimes the loudest choice is choosing quiet.